So a long time ago, I had a crazy experience. I've now turned off the AC, so hopefully it'll be easier to hear me. I forgot. But I had a crazy experience, and it's real. I don't talk about it often because no one's gonna believe me anyways, but I know it's real. So anyways, what I learned from it was very powerful, and it always stuck with me. So basically, I did a spell where I slept under an elderberry tree during a full moon and an eclipse. And when I woke up very early that morning, I saw these two lights that I took to be like fairies or nature spirits. And they were very distinct lights, and I have no explanation for what else they could have possibly been. There was nothing around. And one was bright red and one was bright white. And the bright red light kept like darting and trying to attack and destroy the white light. And I took that, of course, to kind of mean like evil or ignorance. What the white light did was very interesting, and it really felt like there were these two fairies, like the white light kept just trying to the white light was not trying to attack or destroy the red light in any way. There was no two-way attack going on. The white light was just like patient and like avoiding the attack, and like almost like trying to guide. They kept kind of rising higher and higher as well. Like it felt like it was trying to like guide the red out of that energy, but there was no attack. There was no, like, the white light never attacked the red light. Okay, that's all I can say. It just it was like this loving relationship where that was what the love was. Which feels very relevant right now. So, what I'm about to share is the latest information, and I feel that, if you guys want to process what I just said about the lights, go for it. It is real. Okay, so now that we've let that sink in, what I'm about to share, I feel I can say it however I want, because it is something from the Bible that relates to my direct ancestors. And so, and I in my everyday life embody this thing. And so the only person who I could like offend, I think, like, I can say what I want. It's literally about me. Okay, it's about my ancestors, so I can use this how I want, hence why universe has given me this information too. I can't offend anybody because of that. And what I'm about to say may be offensive. I don't know. I think it's cool. I think it's beautiful. So in the Bible, there is this group called and all this comes back to the Palestinians, okay? That's the point. So in this Bible, there's the Levites, and the Levites were this group that would like assist the main priests at the temple in Israel. They were like the ancient assisting priests. And because of this role, they weren't like the head, their energy was important. And because of that, to honor them, they were considered this thing called the 13th tribe, because there's 12 tribes of Israel after Jacob's 12 sons. Also, by the way, I love spirituality. I like the stories because I talk to spirit, and spirit to me is beautiful and not some bad, negative, gonna send me to hell thing. It's like my friend, and that's part of the beauty of, to me at least, partially of being Jewish, is this relationship. And I didn't even think about the Levi thing because, I just, my whole life, my parents were like, oh yeah, we are somehow, I don't know how Jews know this, but like if you're a Levi or if you're a Cohen, that's like the main priest guy, it's like passed down. Like it's been passed down. This knowing has been passed down for years. So my whole life, it's just been something cool, but we're not very religious, so I didn't think about it much. But now that I am, it's so appropriate because my entire life, I am basically an assistant to spiritual energy. I'm not the lead person. I'm not the lead priest. I'm an assistant, and it's so cool. So anyways, that is the 13th tribe of Levi. Okay. Now, since then, there has been this concept of the 13th tribe of Israel being like not just for Jews, but like for anybody in the world who feels like disconnected from the promised land, from this feeling of their homeland, from their own roots, from their own ancestries, like anybody in diaspora who feels that they have like lost touch with some deeper part of themselves spiritually, but also their actual lineage. And I've been observing for a long time with this pro-Palestine movement, even with some of my friends, not anymore, but were my friends, there's this, now I passed a license plate that says Darwin. Holy shit, what is happening? Like evolution, there you go, evolution. Because the world does need to evolve, like spiritually, really bad. So if you look at pro-Palestine, and as a Jewish person, it's been very interesting to observe because it really doesn't stop at just being in favor of Palestinians. Like I've sent people wonderful resources about this group Standing Together that I mentioned that is really like the best group ever for a two-state solution. It's made of Israelis and Palestinians. They hate the government of Israel. It's like the best group you could ever find. And they're like, whatever, I hate you. Literally. They're like, Israel shouldn't exist. I'm like, whoa, what the heck? Like, what is this? What is happening? Like, why are people so... It's not just for Palestinians. It is truly also oftentimes against Jews, okay? And I'm like, why? And I've made other videos about it. And I'm not trying to make it all about myself. I'm not. And I have had such gifts this year of waking up to the gift of being connected to my roots and my homeland and my ancestors, like a direct lineage, it's like a direct thing. And I realize that a lot of people don't feel that way. And I think that's why I'm thinking of this 13th tribe. Like a lot of people really feel lost from spirit. They feel lost maybe from their actual physical homeland, whether it be, there's so many different cultures this could apply to. So many different indigenous cultures, and honestly, white cultures. Like white people used to be pagan. Like oftentimes they were pagan. And that's another thing. I did not convert you. Okay? You're putting this on me. Christians killed Jews. Okay? Muslims killed Jews too. Like, we don't convert people. That's why, I've talked about it before, there's like literally 15 million of us today, okay? So that is misplaced. But what is not misplaced is this spiritual like responsibility that people deserve to feel like they can have their promised land and their connection with God and their connection with their ancestors and all of that beautiful stuff, okay? And to me, like, the 13th tribe symbolizes that. And I'm gonna put a great song underneath too. So now I'm gonna say some stuff that might, and this all feels very prophetic to me. Like, if you look at what's playing out in the world, like, it feels like a prophecy. And I don't mean that to, like, condone death by any means, but, like, the energy around this feels like there's something happening that's like, and I just passed a sign that said shifts happen. So now I'm going to say something that might be a little controversial. So when Palestine, they've done some research, and it is very likely, based on certain names and traditions and things they can track, it's very likely that some Palestinians who were originally there, not those that just migrated in, I mean, I'm talking about the people from the very beginning, like of Canaan, when Judaism was first emerging. Like, there are some Palestinians who are ancient Jews, okay? They were originally Jewish, and they converted based on the empires that invaded. So they converted to Christianity, they converted to Islam, whatever. So, and they've traced it. Like, it's just, there's a lot of evidence for it. It doesn't apply to all of them. I totally respect if that's not somebody's truth, but for some of them, it is true. And I feel like that's important because it can help create more of a collective energy, and that never hurts. So with that in mind, and then there's something else to know, because everyone always talks about the Philistines and how they try to, like, delegitimize Palestine by saying, well, they were never a people. Palestine was named after this conquest of Israel, where it was renamed for the Philistine people, okay? Now, there's another part of that story, though, which is that it could be that Israel, that they renamed it Palestine, the ancient Greeks, because their word to wrestle is very similar to the word of Palestine. And so actually, they could have been very likely, because Israel means to wrestle with God, okay? So it could very well be that Palestine is another word for Israel, okay? And I don't want to offend anybody, because it can still be its own thing. Like, it can still, it is its own thing. But there's also this really deep-rooted connection. And even if that doesn't get it for you, like, we are all from the Canaanites. We were originally one tribe. You know, even if you just want to stick to that, we were originally one tribe, then that's a fine story too. So this part of, like, but to me, like, what Spirit is speaking is that, and the last part of the 13th tribe prophecy is that in the Messianic era, which Jews still have not agreed upon, that all of Israel will come together as one with the 13th tribe. So what's happening now, to me, just feels like very beautifully symbolic of, like, Palestine can represent this promised land part that other people feel like maybe they've been denied, whether it be their connection with Spirit or through their ancestry and their lineage and their roots. And if that speaks to anybody, I just want to welcome you to embrace it. As I said in the last video, like, the way to fight an extreme beliefs on any side that might be detrimental is to come up with a new extreme belief that is beautiful and inclusive and is literally what's happening. If you look at it through this lens and you stick with this concept, I promise you, like, it is very powerful. So, yeah. 13 tribes, baby. 13 tribes in Palestine and Israel living together next to each other.